Good morning, dear students. In previous class, I discussed about the water cycle and three forms of water, and today I will continue with water cycle. Lesson 14, forms of water. Today I will continue with here the water cycle. We know that rain is a main source of water. Rain is a main source of water, but where does the rain come from? So I told we will discuss about water cycle. In the water cycle process, three processes are there. First one is the evaporation process, second one is the condensation process, and third one is the precipitation process. And I will draw diagram of water cycle. This is the water from the different streams. This is the water from the different streams. Just like it can be from rivers, seas, etc. And this is the water vapor. This is the water vapor. Due to the heat of the sun, some water changes into the water vapor. Water changes into the water vapor, then it forms the clouds. You can see this is the clouds. So heat of the sun changes some water into water vapor. That process is called the evaporation. Some water changes into water vapor. That process is called the evaporation. Or you can say that the heat of the sun changes the water of ponds, lakes, rivers and seas into the water vapor, and that process is called the evaporation process. First process is the evaporation. Then the water drops rises up in the air, cools and changes into the water drops, and these water drops collect together and take the shape of clouds. That process is called the condensation. Water vapor, after cooling, change into the drops of water, and then it forms the clouds. And these water drops collect together and take the shape of the clouds. And when that process is called the condensation, and then third process is the precipitation. And then as more and more water drops collect, the clouds become heavier and big, and now these water drops fall from down as rain, and the rainwater flows back into the water bodies such as lakes, rivers, seas, etc. Once again water gets heated and the cycle repeats again and again, and then due to the rain these water again goes to the different stream, that is the river, lakes, ponds, oceans, seas, and this cycle is repeating again and again, and the whole process is called the water cycle, and the whole process is called the water cycle. This process is called the water cycle. And the journey of water from the water bodies goes on through water vapor into clouds and then back to the different water bodies. The whole process is called the water cycle. And in the water cycle you can see that three processes are there: evaporation, condensation and precipitation. Evaporation, condensation and precipitation, and the whole cycle is repeating again and again, and this process is called the water cycle. And now come to the what is the hailstones. What is the hailstones? This is the water cycle. And now what is a hailstone? Sometimes the rain passes through very cold air and then it changes into the crystals of ice, that is called the hailstones. And sometimes water vapor in cold air changes into soft flakes of snow which fall to the earth, that is called the snowfall. So this chapter is completed. And you will take revision in this. What is the water cycle? Hailstone with diagram of water cycle, and what is the hailstones, and what is the snowfall. And what have you learned in this chapter? You know that water exists in three forms: solid, liquid and gas, and all three forms of water are useful. And when water gets cooled, it changes into the ice, and ice is a solid form, and ice on heating again changes into the water. Water is a liquid form, and when water gets heated it changes into the steam. Steam is the gaseous form. And the long journey of water from water bodies to the water bodies through clouds and rain is called the water cycle. Water is the only substances on earth which exist in three forms: solid, liquid and gas. Through water cycle we use the same water again and again. So this is all about chapter 14, forms of water. You will take revision of this chapter.